On today's video, it's Ape versus Ape as we compare which is the best Planet of the Apes box set, the Ultimate DVD Collection or the 50 years anniversary Blu-ray.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to another disc discussion. This time we're talking Planet of the Apes. I have been kind of in a weird spot with Planet of the Apes. Would you know, in fact, that despite me doing an entire video about it now, I had not seen the other Planet of the Apes movies beyond the original and the Tim Burton remake until like about a month ago. This is kind of an interesting thing with me. I love the original 1968 Planet of the Apes. My parents showed it to me prior to us going to see the 2001 remake. And then I didn't love the 2001 remake. And for years I thought about going back and watching the other movies and watching the Rise trilogy and hearing good things about it. And, you know, thought about it, didn't really do it yet. But when the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes marketing started up and it kind of had that familiar vibe of the 1968 film, I thought I really need to see these movies. And you know what? I think this has now gone down as one of my favorite series in all of film. And of course, we have been owning several versions of these movies on disc, which is kind of wild that I hadn't done this before. But essentially, in 2006, there was an Ultimate DVD Collection. In 2018, there was a 50-year Blu-ray. Those are the two, I'd say, most complete box sets per format. So let's put them up against each other and fight it off and make a battle of it. And if you enjoy this type of video, hit the like button, hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already for more videos like this. Lets me know you enjoy this type of video. But this is going to be a big showdown. But I kind of wanted to speak on the fact that Planet of the Apes, when you think about it, and when you look at it, seems like kind of one of the hokiest, weirdest little 60s sci-fi franchises. But what I discovered, and what I encourage you to learn about the Planet of the Apes if you're not familiar with it, is that most of the films are steeped in societal commentary about the way that we treat fellow life forms. And I think that is kind of amazing. It doesn't come across always when you see the marketing or the posters of it, but it's something that's carried through all of the films that I have seen, which is all of them. What I find fascinating too is that you can definitely tell that the Planet of the Apes franchise wasn't really planned to be 5 films originally, because I gotta say that the second movie is one of the most insane things I've ever seen on film to date. And it's kind of amazing because that ending makes me ask, how are there 3 more movies? And then there were. And the 3 following films follow their own path as well. Each one ending with what happens next, how is there another movie? And that I think is pretty incredible, especially for the era that they were working in. 68, 70, 71, 72, 73, there was 2 TV shows. In 74, there was a live action show. In 75, there was an animated show. And then there wasn't anything until a 2001 remake of the 68 film. And then following up that, in 2011, we got Rise of the Planet of the Apes, kind of a reboot, reimagining that takes a lot of elements from some of the films, not just the first one, but Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is a heavy influence, which is great, because I love Conquest a lot. The 2014 sequel, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, was a great follow-up and a really incredible film. And 2017's War for the Planet of the Apes kind of emotionally broke me. That movie was a journey. The whole trilogy was. And so I'm very, very excited to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes now that it's out in theaters. And after working on this video, I'm going to see those movies. So don't give me any spoilers in the comments if you've seen it and I haven't gotten to it yet. But I love these movies, and I am so engrossed in the Planet of the Apes world and the way that the stories are presented and how the concept is just so strong. You can tell so many different stories with it. And so because of that, I wanted to talk about the actual physical home media releases of these movies. And I found it was actually a little bit simpler when we just boil it down to those 2 collections. So it's the Ultimate DVD versus the 50 years Blu-ray. Let's do a showdown of the Planet of the Apes box sets. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of open up the package on our first subject, the Planet of the Apes Ultimate DVD Collection. Still got the original Suncoast bag. Also, it tells you how old this is when I say original Suncoast bag. That is a retail chain that's been around a long time. But here it is, the Planet of the Apes Ultimate DVD Collection. which comes in a bust of Caesar from Conquest of Planet of the Apes. So pretty cool stuff. This is back when like home video, physical media stuff was like really popular, especially in the DVD era, and they would do crazy things like this. It was $180 US back in 2006. It probably goes for about that still now. So it's held its value in a way. But we're gonna like get this thing open. It came in this box. It's like a white box with a slip cover around it. But what I like about this set, and maybe I'll have to do a separate like video on specifically limited edition head busts that come with discs, because it's a very common thing actually. What's cool about this set, you get a nice certificate of authenticity with a specific numbered limited edition number to it, which is pretty cool. Nice to see that overall. And then you get this really cool bust inside. But a lot of other sets will include like, you know, oh hey, you can store the discs in the base of the bust. You know, like the Power Rangers helmet is all discs in the back. Or there's like a little drawer in a Jack Skellington bust for Nightmare Before Christmas. But the one thing I've noticed with this versus I think any other set, I think because of the way it's made, is that there actually is a way to access the discs without completely opening up your base or your bust. So essentially, what's really cool, and this is like my favorite feature of this, is that the DVDs themselves are stored in the back of the Caesar bust on the base. So what you can do if you don't want to open him up, you can pull this piece of styrofoam out, and there it is, and you can flip up the little flap, and there's your DVDs. Easy reach if you don't want to open the entire bust up. But of course we're doing a video, so we're going to open the entire bust. But I found this is pretty convenient if you're trying to just get to the discs and also still store them inside, which is really nice to see. But we're of course going to open this up because we're doing a video. And we don't want to just go like, here's the cardboard, here's the styrofoam. But here he is. So this is a replica of the original makeup design for Roddy McDowall as Caesar. And this is also probably why they included a nice little like gateway in the styrofoam. So his head's wrapped in plastic. I have not, or I should say we, because I wasn't super into Planet Apes when we got this. We haven't opened this up in a while. I haven't taken this off of his head. So here it is. Here is the Caesar bust, which is pretty cool. I would have this in my normal setup, but it's very large. As you can see, it's not like massive. Maybe I can do some shots of him in the set now that he's out, but beautiful. It's got like the hair to it, the details. It's like hand painted, designed, even down to the zippers on the uniform. It's interesting they went with Conquest Caesar as opposed to like, say, Cornelius from the first one, because I get you want to do Roddy McDowall since he's in 4 of the 5 movies and one of the TV shows, but it's kind of interesting with Caesar. I think there are some Conquest fans working on the set. I really love Conquest of Planet of the Apes, so I don't mind. But yeah, this is pretty amazing. And then, like I said, yeah, you can see on the back here, he flipped this up, a couple Velcro straps, and here is his DVD contents. So we'll take a look at this close up because this is nice and compact, and we'll talk about what is included in the Ultimate DVD collection for the Planet of the Apes. So let's take a look at the discs themselves. This is the Planet of the Apes Ultimate DVD Collection, the actual disc part of it. Somewhere in the universe, there must be something better than man. It's kind of interesting they did this in 2006, considering that in 2008 was the 40th, and then they did the Blu-rays then. This was like the last, like right before Blu-ray really became the solidified, like this is the new format. It's kind of interesting. It feels like it may have been they wanted to put it out earlier. Like they didn't put it out around the time of Planet of the Apes 2001 or like right after when that movie came out. This is several years later. I don't know. Maybe it was involving some of the contents that we will look at. Inside here, in a matter of time, an astronaut will wing through the centuries and find an answer. So kind of like nice visuals. There's the famous ending of the first one. You maniacs, you blew it up. He may find the most terrifying one of all on the Planet of the Apes, where apes are the rulers and man the beast. At least in some of the films, not all. But this is a nice little spread. It's very reminiscent of the original 68 film, which I think is still the best regarded of them. And for the longest time was the only one I had seen. So take that as you will. Over here, there's a little like I would call it a booklet, but it's kind of just like a little fold out, and it basically just gives you the specs for each movie and show, which is cool. And yes, this does include the TV shows. So as far as I can tell, and this is just me going off of how things were, just, I've done my research, this is what I found out. From what I can tell, this is basically new DVDs for the original films, and then the TV shows is a mix of new and old, and then the 2001 movie is also like the originals, but these are new discs for the original film. So we have Planet of the Apes, 1968, this is the feature film, and then there is a special features disc. We will go over the special features as part of the comparison with the Blu-ray, because a lot of people, a lot of times when we get movies on Blu-ray, not all the special features come with it, so we'll talk about that in the comparison. Disc 3 is Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the second movie. Disc 4, Escape from Planet of the Apes, the third movie. Disc 5, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, the fourth movie, and also my personal favorite of the originals. And then Disc 6 is Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is the fifth and final original film. Then you get the Planet of the Apes live-action TV series, which you can see here. Looks pretty fun. I haven't seen this yet personally. I'm planning to watch it later. This was a one-season show. It's a live-action show. It takes place before the original films, from what I can understand, from what I read online. Disc 1 contains episodes 1 through 4. I believe this is the same, visual master as the 2001 DVD release of the series. And there was a later 2006 single release of the series, in case you didn't want the ultimate DVD collection. Here's Disc 8, which is episodes 5 through 8 of that series. And then Disc 9 is 9 through 12 of that series. And then Disc 10 is 13 through 14 of that series. So 14 episodes on 4 discs, which is pretty good. Then you get Return to the Planet of the Apes, which was the 1975 animated series, which is kind of its own thing. It kind of is closer to the original book. Also only lasted for one season, with episodes 1 through 7 on Disc 1, and then episodes 8 through 13 on Disc 2. Now, there is something to note about Return to the Planet of the Apes. This show was not digitally remastered for the Ultimate Collection. It may have been in the plans to do so, because a few months later, a single-release DVD, Return to the Planet of the Apes, was released. And this is a 2-disc set as well. You can see here, Disc 1, Disc 2. And there was significant changes made to the release. For the longest time, personally speaking, I thought this was just, hey, it's these 2 discs with new labels from the Ultimate Collection. Never picked it up. Again, because as I mentioned kind of in the intro, I wasn't super into Planet of the Apes at first. So I was doing my research for this video, found out they are not remastered on the Ultimate DVD Collection, but they are remastered here on the complete set. So if you are looking for the animated series, this is the way to get it. And even if you have the Ultimate DVD, I recommend picking this up. It does list the episodes in air date order on the back. However, on the discs themselves, they are listed in production order, which is giving you a more accurate story order as to how it was written. But of course, the biggest thing is the restoration. You're probably wondering, is it that big of a deal? Well, you tell me. We'll have a screenshot from the Ultimate DVD Collection and a screenshot from the single DVD release. I could tell, even before comparing them, that there was a significant difference between the 2 releases, because they did not restore and digitally remaster the show for the DVD for the Ultimate DVD, but the single DVD absolutely is restored and looks much, much better. While you're not going to get crystal clear 4K visuals or anything, because it is a DVD and it is a show from 1975, they did a great job remastering it. It's just a bummer it couldn't have happened to make the Ultimate DVD Collection the ultimate. So that's the status of Return to Planet of the Apes, which is kind of nice to have the set in the set itself, but of course those 2 discs just aren't as good as the ones in the single release. And then adding to that, on Disc 13, we have Planet of the Apes 2001, the Tim Burton remake of the original film, and the second disc, which is Disc 14, which is all of these special features. So this Ultimate DVD set, at the time, was all the Planet of the Apes film material. So all the movies, all the TV shows in one set. While it was lacking in the Return being the proper remaster, so you kind of had to own these 2 releases, this is something that, you can still say this is the closest to a complete set. If you're not including, the visual picture quality, this is a complete set up through everything that was existing prior to Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But this, unfortunately, sort of drags it down from being the ultimate collection. Now, of course, one of the things we're kind of seeking out to decide in this video is, do you need a version of these DVDs if you have the more recent Blu-ray collection? Well, let's talk about that Blu-ray collection. All right, let's look at the less elaborate but more recent 50 Years of Planet of the Apes 9-movie collection on Blu-ray. Now, this was a box set released in October 9th, 2018, and was basically to celebrate, of course, the 50th anniversary of the Planet of the Apes franchise. And that was pretty cool. This contains the 9 theatrical films, but none of the TV shows. So that's something that the Ultimate DVD Collection does have as a one-up, is the inclusion of the 2 TV shows, even with one of them not being the best version. This is just the movies. And this set itself, I think, is out of print. It's been a while since it came out. Basically, from what I can tell, Disney hasn't printed the Planet of the Apes films, only Fox. So anything before the Fox acquisition is sort of out of print now. This thing does come with a couple bonuses. Here is the outside cardboard, which basically tells you about what's inside. And we're going to look at that here in a moment. But essentially what you're looking at here is a collection of things that previously existed. None of the discs here are brand new, but of course we have a nice shot of Caesar from the modern film series and a shot of what looks to be Caesar from the original film series. And that is pretty cool as kind of a reflection of the 2 sides of the franchise. This case, pretty sturdy. It's one of those thick box cases, but it's not like the ones with the pull-out insert. They're actually latched in, which is nice to see. The interior artwork here isn't much besides just like your presentation specs for each of the films. So let's go over the contents here. First things first, the 5 original films are the same exact Blu-ray discs from the 40th anniversary collection in 2008, also the same as the Legacy collection and the single releases. So these are going to be the same discs from 2008 onward. There's only one version of these movies on Blu-ray. They have a lot of good bonus features on them. We will talk about bonus features in comparison to the DVDs, but we do have Planet of the Apes, we have Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and then Battle for the Planet of the Apes, those being the original 5. What's really cool about this set is that you get them all in one with the newer films as opposed to having to buy them separate. One of the weirder ones is Planet of the Apes 2001, the reboot film. It is on here, but there is barely any bonus features on that disc. That is the same disc from 2007, which was a single release. Over here we have the modern series. You do get the 4K and the Blu-ray of all 3 of the modern films, which is nice to see. So we got Rise, we have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and we have War for the Planet of the Apes, that original, that newer trilogy. And that is a one-up from the DVD collection, of course, because these movies didn't exist yet. But these movies are fantastic. One of the best modern reinterpretations of a movie series I've seen, and it's nice to have them all here. But if you were looking for these are the same exact discs as appear on the single 4Ks, as well as the trilogy collections of newer films. So pretty cool. I think it's overall a nice, compact set as it stands, and I think that makes it really fun. What's nice as a bonus is you get this little booklet. This booklet contains collector cards, and these collector cards are each of the film posters. So we get, of course, Planet of the Apes. We get Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from Planet of the Apes, Conquest of Planet of the Apes, Battle for Planet of the Apes, Planet of the Apes 2001, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and of course, War of the Planet of the Apes. And so what's cool is that they actually have a little collage thing on the back, which I will insert a shot of here so you can see how they have, basically it's the gorilla sequence from the first film with the 50th anniversary logo on it, which is pretty cool. Now, as a bonus, you also get a digital code containing all 9 films on digital, which is nice. It's one code, redeems all of them, which is what I like to see. Now, the downside to this set, the DVD, of course, from 2006 is out of print. This 2018 Blu-ray, not also in print. I'm not exactly sure how easy it is to get nowadays, but I hope that a future set might model this one in containing both the original films and the modern films, because I think having it all in one is really, really nice and really a good appeal to having like a box set for Planet of the Apes. All right, let's compare the Ultimate DVD collection to the 50 Years of Planet of the Apes. I think that both sets are pretty good overall. One of the things that drags down Ultimate is the Return of the Planet of the Apes. We're just going to put this back here to kind of accentuate that it's not quite perfect. But this set is also not quite perfect. It's lacking the 2 TV shows. While it would have been, you know, a whole endeavor to remaster TV shows to put them on Blu-ray, it would have been nice to see because that would have made it a more complete set. But this is a common thing we see. Sometimes the TV shows will be included in a DVD, but then they get to Blu-ray and they're like, oh, we don't have the things to remaster the TV shows. And yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. The thing that I found impressive about the 50 Years set is that it actually isn't lacking too much feature-wise from the Ultimate DVD. So while the 2 TV shows are not included in the Blu-ray, let's go over the bonus features for each set. So starting with 1968's Planet of the Apes, the DVD collection has a healthy amount of bonus features, from 3 different commentaries to behind the scenes to look backs at things. But what's interesting is it includes on that bonus features disc things that would be associated with later films like Conquest or Escape. But then when you go over to the Blu-ray, I was kind of expecting something to be lost, but in fact, all the stuff from the DVD did make it over. The gallery collections are a little different between both of them, but for the most part, they seem to have most things. The only thing missing from the DVD for Planet of the Apes 68 is the film reviews gallery, which is kind of a bummer, but honestly not a huge deal compared to some of the other archival materials. The other cool part about the Blu-ray, that's again the 2008 Blu-ray that's in this 50 year set, is that it includes a bunch of new bonus features, including an adventure game that you can play while watching the movie, and also some other like in-universe stuff, and it's actually pretty cool. So I'd say for 1968 Planet of the Apes, we didn't really lose anything too substantial from the Ultimate DVD to the Blu-ray, and that's pretty impressive. All right, so now for Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the second film, the DVD disc only included a photo gallery and theatrical trailers, which is kind of a bummer because that's very little material. So that leads the Blu-ray to have more stuff, including an isolated score track, a feature on building the sequel, plus galleries that are different and expanded, and they also do still have the theatrical trailers, so nothing was lost and things were added. Escape from Planet of the Apes on the Ultimate DVD only had theatrical trailers, but on the Blu-ray for Escape, you get the isolated score track, a behind-the-scenes feature, different expanded galleries, plus the Don Taylor Directs Escape from Planet of the Apes feature that was on the bonus disc for Planet of the Apes. It's on the Escapes disc here, which is more appropriate. Now over here, the Conquest of the Planet of the Apes DVD only had theatrical trailers, but the Blu-ray has even more than you would imagine. So we not only have a theatrical trailers and a look behind the Planet of the Apes, and G. Lee Thompson directs Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, 2 features that were on that special features disc for Planet. Those are on the Blu-ray for Conquest. But the new features include not only a behind-the-scenes special, different and expanded galleries, an isolated score track, but the unrated cut of the movie, containing all the sequences of violence and the different ending that were changed after test screenings found it to be a little off-putting, I guess. But that unrated cut hits all of its points harder, and it has a much different ending than the original. And this Blu-ray from 2008 was the first time that unrated cut was available. That makes a huge step up in features from the DVD, which was only the theatrical and only some trailers. Now, Battle for the Planet of the Apes on the Ultimate DVD had theatrical trailers, but it also had an extended cut adding 10 minutes of footage that was missing from the theatrical that sort of resolves some plot points. But oddly enough, it doesn't include the theatrical version on that DVD. However, on the Blu-ray, you not only get the theatrical and the extended cut, plus the trailer, you do get the isolated score track, a behind-the-scenes feature, and some galleries. So what's amazing to me is with the original 5 Planet of the Apes films, we didn't lose anything from the Ultimate Collection DVD except for those film review galleries, which are things you can actually look up online now because a lot of film reviews are archived. But considering that there's so much here, it's amazing that we not only got all of that ported over to the Blu-rays, and the Blu-rays got additional features on top of it, which is not a common occurrence, even in 2008 when those Blu-rays were first made. Now, of course, it's not all perfect in paradise. The Ultimate Collection DVD had the 2-disc special edition version of Planet of the Apes 2001, which means you got 2 commentary tracks, an enhanced viewing mode, and a whole whack of bonus features on its second bonus disc. Now, unfortunately, the 2001 Blu-ray is the same as the 2007 release of the film, and that means you only get the commentary from Tim Burton in a trailer. You don't get any of the other bonus features that are on the Ultimate Collection and on the single 2-disc release. So if you like that movie, you don't get hardly anything with the Blu-ray version. Now, of course, that's where the Ultimate DVD Collection cuts off. The newer trilogy of films were also released single, so you have that option as well. But in this box set, they contain quite a bit. And I wanted to put down for historical record how many bonus features were included in case future releases sort of leave them out. So on the 4K disc, you only get commentary tracks. So for Rise, you get 2 commentary tracks. But then you get a bunch of bonus features on the Blu-ray disc, which is why I'm glad they include both 4K and Blu-ray, since the 4K doesn't have the bonus features. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes also features a commentary track on its 4K, and its Blu-ray contains a bunch of stuff too, though not as much as Rise. It's a little bit dwindling. And then War, kind of same story. Commentary track on the 4K, and the Blu-ray contains a bunch of bonus features, including deleted scenes and all kinds of extra materials. So in terms of overall features, the 50 Years of Planet of the Apes movies actually contains pretty much everything, assuming you only care about the original 5 and the most modern 3. If you care about the 2001 film, you're going to need to track down some version of that DVD to get that bonus disc in particular. And if you want the TV shows, you're going to have to look for the Return to the Planet of the Apes, which is not too hard to find as the single release, honestly. But the actual live-action show, single DVD, a lot harder to find. And it may actually be better tracking down the Ultimate DVD Collection itself in case you want that instead. It's kind of hard to find some of these older releases, and that's kind of a bummer that the 2 TV shows didn't make it over to this. So which is the best Planet of the Apes box set? Is it the Ultimate DVD Collection? Is it the 50 Years Collection? It's kind of a mix of both. I will say that for most people out there who are looking for Planet of the Apes, they're going to want the original 5 films or the 3 most recents. If you want just the 3 most recent films, the Rise trilogy, just get the trilogy pack. But if you want all of 8 original films and then you don't mind owning the 2001 film, 50 Years set's going to probably cover you. This set's kind of if you want every bonus feature from every movie and also want the 2 TV shows, though you will probably want to rebuy one of the TV shows. Or if you want the Caesar bust. I mean, we can talk about the discs all day, but this is like one of the coolest things that has ever been made. So, there's a lot of benefit to this set as it is. Now, both sets are out of print, so you might want to wait and see what Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes release schedule is going to be, because they may release a new box set. Maybe they'll include new features. Maybe they'll resurrect the TV shows and give them a modern release. We'll have to wait and see. But as it stands, I will say that 50 Years set overall is probably the better package for most people, though collectors that really love busts of characters, you really can't go wrong with this. But you'll probably want this anyways. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm a bit of a completionist, so having both plus that extra return set, kind of how I roll. But I think in the general, for picking one, I would pick the 50 Years set. Caesar bust aside, this has just got the more features and the more content for the main portion of the franchise. So that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this disc discussion. I haven't done one of these where it's not like a straight review in a while, but I love talking about home media. I love comparing and contrasting different sets, and that's kind of what we did here. And if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment down below and hit subscribe and notification bell if you haven't already. Tell me what you think is the best Planet of the Apes set in the comments. If you think that it's make or break not including the TV shows with the Blu-ray set, let me know. If you think you're fine skipping the TV shows, also let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But on that note, be sure to check out our Discord server in the link below. We have a chat about physical media and Blu-rays and all kinds of cool stuff. You also check out our live streams every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We talk about Blu-ray news. We talk about Planet of the Apes stuff because this is my new thing, and we're going to have a good time in those streams, so come check it out. You can also find me on social media if you wish across most platforms at Soundout12. You can find my awesome graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. You can also join as a channel member for perks like early access, member exclusive live streams, and more. Hit the join button down below for more details. And let's give a special shout out to some of our channel members. Special shout out to all our channel members, including our captains Tears, Infinity Wartorn, Spin-54, Super Shadix Boom, Toma K, Jamie's World, SSJ4 Jason, Psycho O's, MasterBin95, Infinite 1985, Jeremy Carr, Sentai Ranger Donnie, Ramon Gray, Muhammad Faiz Danyal, Sutargo's the Kaiju from Krypton. Thank you to all of you for your continued support. You can also find Hero Club at hero-club.com for nerd news and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying, Apes together strong.